Good morning. Welcome to our Tuesday Live. I'm Suzanne, a horticulturist here at Rogers Gardens, and today we're going to be discussing vermiculture or worm composting and how you can use one of our really cool worm composters to get rid of some of your kitchen waste and also to help you get some of the best soil additives you can get for your garden. We've talked a little bit about worm castings before, and I'm gonna really quickly just show you. We here at Rogers Gardens, we sell worm castings. This bag right here is $25, so it's worth its weight in gold. It is fabulous stuff. It's one of the things that we recommend the most. We have a couple of different kinds of worm castings. We also have this worm grow. So, but you know, why pay for it when you can make your own and have a really, really cool project inside your house or outside with using some of your food scraps. So today we're gonna kind of talk about this and set up a worm composting bin while I'm talking. I'm not gonna put the legs on this bin. We sell this bin here. It has these really cute little legs that you put underneath here, but it would probably raise this whole thing up a little too high for the video. So I'm gonna show you how easy it is to set this up. I'm gonna be winging a lot of this today with the legs over there. Okay, so this goes on the bottom of your worm composting bin. And so worm composting is a little bit different than regular composting. Regular composting, you can use all of your kitchen scraps for, or I would say the ones that are acceptable for a compost bin. You can use those in your compost pile. For your worm compost bin, you're going to use a lot less, but you're going to get a lot more out of it. So this is a drain, and this is going to go into a receptacle where you can collect up what's called a worm casting tea. And that is a really good fertilizer and also a good insecticide for your plants. So we've got that on the bottom. And then we're going to put this little filter here. Super easy. There are two other layers to this worm casting. We're going to be working mainly with this this first one because this will come later. This comes after your first layer is full, so we're going to set it over here. So we've got this beautiful setup here. Down in the bottom is where it's going to collect all of the like worm castings and the worm tea. So you've got it like this. And in this kit, you get these little coconut core kind of giant pellets. And you get a little bit of shredded newspaper. The recommendation for this is to put down some newspaper on the bottom. You can also use cardboard, so that's what I'm going to use today. I tore up a whole bunch yesterday afternoon. So I'm going to throw a little layer of cardboard here, and it'll just kind of cover the holes a bit, and the worms are eventually going to eat through this. The worms that we're going to be using for this are not just regular garden worms. They're called epigic worms. They are the red wigglers, and we sell those here at Rogers. We have them right here. They're so cute. I can't wait to show them to you. So we're going to cover this here, and the worms will eventually eat everything that you're going to be putting in this one container here. So it's really neat. You open this little coconut core thing, and there are a lot of different methods for doing worm composting. Just to let you know, there are so many different pieces of information on the internet about this. But we've got some water here, and we're going to put the coconut core in it and let it sit there for a while and soak up all the water. It will soak up a ton. It's a great way to just kind of give the worms a little bit more fiber, and it's got a little bit of roughage in here. The worms, so they don't actually eat the waste. What they do is they put it in their mouth, and then their gizzard actually processes it. It goes all the way through their body and comes out on the other end, and it is worm castings. Worm castings are super nutritious. They're like a beneficial bacteria for your soil. And as we've mentioned a million times here, because we love it so much, it when the plants take it up from their roots, it slowly works its way through the plant and it forms this enzyme that bugs don't like. Base of the plant once the worm castings have worked their way through the plant. And it takes about 1 foot per week of plant height. So if you have, a big tree that's being plagued by aphids, no, it's going to take a while. But if you use your worm castings twice a year on your soil, it's going to really help a lot with pests. So that's another good reason to have a little worm composter. Plus, it's also really fun. If you have kids, this is a great way to get them involved with recycling and reusing and, worms and how beneficial they are to our gardens. Because if you have worms in your garden, it's pretty much like a report card for your garden, and it tells you that your garden is doing well. It means there's a lot of good things in the soil for them to be attracted to, and you're not using pesticides that could kill them. So it's a good thing to have worms. Again, these are different worms, but so we've got this, and it's kind of loosening up. I wish it would go faster, but it's not. So once you get this all moistened and it's all falling apart, as you can kind of see, right, Marissa? Yeah. Okay, so once it gets like this, you can take the little packet of paper that they give you with this, and you can also just use newsprint, but you're going to mix it in here together. And then, again, this is so easy, but you're going to see on websites, you can make your own worm composting bins at home. It's, it's a little bit of DIY, but you can put holes in a container and mix up all these things without having these pre-made, these little core tablets and the little pre-packaged newspaper. If you have newspaper at home, you're going to be using it a lot for this because worms love newspaper as long as it is just black and white print. No color, it's not good for them, and you can just put in layers all the time. If you order off of online places, you probably have a few boxes at home. That's a great place to use up your boxes. Just tear them up into little pieces for your worms to eat. That's just a great use of them. And I think a lot of us have a lot of boxes at home. I know I do. So once this is all kind of set together and it looks kind of like this, you want it to be nice and moist, not too wet, not too dry. And you're going to get to learn what that is. Usually if you can squeeze out a little bit, that's perfect. And then you're going to set it on top of this and make a nice little layer. So I hope you can see this. You're going to set all of this onto the cardboard or your newspaper, your newsprint. Easy, right? And so much fun. Like, kids could do this, definitely. So we're going to put it all here. And of course, once you've got your legs and all your other pieces, what you want to do is find a place for this. And some people keep them indoors. You really need to seal it off well if you have it indoors because fruit flies can get in there and they can be kind of annoying. So if you put a piece of screen on top of whatever layer you're working with, that is going to help keep the fruit flies out. And also, you need to keep it in a cool place. So no direct sun on it. Worms like to have it, I think it's between like 50 and 80 degrees. Any warmer and they will kind of bake and not work very fast. And any colder, it's going to slow down the whole process. They can overwinter in some places, but to keep it at an ideal temperature, that's when they're going to work and eat and be happiest and get it going. Some people like to put a little sand in this mix. I feel like this core has enough roughage in here, but if you want, you can put just a little sand. The worms will actually eat it, and it helps them digest all of this, the food goodness that you're going to be putting in there. So then comes the fun part. You get to put your worms in there. Sonia over there is making a face. She doesn't like worms. It's funny, when I first looked at them a minute ago, they were all crawling out of here, but here they are. So worms are great. They're fabulous. They're fun. You want to touch one, Sonia? Yeah, sure. Okay, so I don't know if you can see them, but I'm going to dump them all here. Oh, here's a good big handful. Can you see them? Cool. Worms are great. They're clean. They are so beneficial, and they are happy to do all your work. So you do this. You can put a layer of newsprint or cardboard on top of them. They're just going to dig right down. And so you're going to leave this for one day. Just one day so they can get settled in and get ready. If you want, you can even wait 2 days. The whole key to vermiculture is just to be patient, and it's not a fast thing. The worms are happy to just settle in. There's enough for them to eat in here with the cardboard and the newsprint, so just let them settle in. Then in a day or two, you're going to feed them, and there's so many things you can feed them, but it's more important kind of to think of what you can't feed them. It'll make it a lot easier. And yesterday this occurred to me, and I don't know if you're going to enjoy this or not enjoy this, but basically if you imagine that your worms are vegan, because they are not going to eat any animal products. So no meat, no fish, no eggs, no cheese, none of that stuff. And they're also kind of health oriented, so nothing oily. The oil can coat their skin and keep them from actually living. So it's so cute to see them all digging down in there. So worms, just think of them vegan worms. No dairy, no cheese, no meat, no bones, no anything like that. They love green leafy vegetables and they love fruits. And the only true thing that you really need to watch out for is no citrus. They do not like citrus. It's too acidic for them and it can kill them as well. So little scraps of anything, and the key word is little. So you only need to feed them about a cup, maybe a little bit more each week. So again, it's not going to get rid of all of your compost scraps or anything like that, but it's going to get rid of a good part of them and build up some soil additive. And you want to chop it up real small. So if you want, you can blend it, you can make it into a little slurry or puree or something, or you can just make things real small. The smaller it is, the easier the worms can eat it and work through it. So it's up to you. A lot of people will say on this first day when you're just trying to get them all set up, just throw a banana peel in there, because it's the thing, it's like a Kickstarter for a worm farm. So you can do that if you really want to throw something in there, but that's about it. Then wait a couple days, put your 1 cup-ish, give or take, and spread it all over here, and then put your worm bin, and sorry, I'm stepping out for a second. So again, this piece goes on top, and it's an extra bin in there, because what happens is eventually this bin is going to fill up. It's going to fill up with your food and your layering. So after you feed it, you can put some newspaper or cardboard on top, and then you're going to feed them again, and then you're going to do the newspaper, cardboard, and eventually the worms are going to work their way through here, and it's all going to be worm castings. So when that happens and it's all the way up to the top, you're going to put you're going to already have it there, but then you're going to start layering in this part here. And the worms will eventually migrate up into that. Then you can take it off, empty this, and put this back down on the bottom. It's very, very simple. It's very, very easy. All this time you're going to be getting worm tea out the bottom. You can let it drip into the ground if you like, or into a bowl, and use that, dilute it with some water, and just, pour it on your plants. You can even put it in a spray bottle and use it as a foliar spray for your plants, because it's just going to help them in so many different and really good beneficial ways. So again, you can use worm castings. They cost anywhere from like $15 to $50 depending, or you can get this beautiful worm casting, worm composting kit here, and it's so fun and so easy. Keep it in the shade, no direct sunlight. And the key points to remember on a worm bin here is not too hot, not too cold, not too wet, and not too dry. And if you're going on vacation, don't worry. You can feed the worms when you're leaving, and they can even go up to, you know, a week or two without being fed. So as long as there's plenty of stuff in there for them, they'll be just fine. You just keep them cool and make sure that they're happy. So that's about it. I'm trying to, oh yeah, if you do get fruit flies, and I recently set up my own worm composting bin, and I almost immediately got fruit flies. I mean, it's hot out, and the fruit that I threw in there had been a little bit older, so maybe it had some fruit fly eggs in it. But you can set up a really cool little trap for these fruit flies just right next to it. You just get a bottle and make sure that it has like a small top, and set a funnel in it, and put a little apple cider vinegar in it and a drop of dish soap, and it will lure the fruit flies over there, and it should just be a really good trap to keep them away from your bin. Otherwise, just, you know, if it's outside, just kind of shoo them away, and make sure that you keep a layer of newsprint on top, because that will actually help suppress them as well. So let's see. I think I've gone through everything. Everything's good. Do we have any questions?
Yes. How many worms come in a container?
Oh gosh, I think there's about 500. It doesn't actually say. I noticed it's 1/2 cup. It's enough for a 100 square foot garden. When I used these the other day, I noticed it didn't say the number, but it seems like a lot. So I'm gonna say it's like 200 to 500. And they are happy as little clams in here. They've totally disappeared. I could pull one out if I wanted. There it is. They're really nice and easy. Not weird, Sonia, over there. But they are just the picture of garden health for you and your household. So, any other questions?
How long does it take for a layer to become usable castings?
Well, that depends. That's a very good question. It depends on the weather, and it depends on the activity of your worms and kind of what you're feeding them. So again, if you feed them really, really tiny kind of slurried or pureed pieces, it's going to work a lot quicker. And if you're feeding them kind of big chunks of things, it'll take a lot longer for them to process it. So maybe up to a month or two, maybe a little bit longer, depending on the weather.
Can you compost in the desert?
Yes, absolutely. As long as you have a cool place. So again, a lot of people keep these inside their house. And again, I say, you know, just put a screen, like a piece of window screen, right over this, so that the fruit flies don't get in or out of there. Because you won't be checking it a lot. Worms like their privacy, and after you fed them, you can just leave it for another week or so. Keeping it nice and tight will keep the fruit flies at bay. Keeping it in a slurry will keep them at bay as well. Okay, so that's about it. If you have any questions about this, please do not hesitate to come in or call us. You can go to our website and check this out. Is this on our website to buy? It should be, but if it's not, just call the store. We have these in black and in gray. You can go to our website, rogersgardens.com. You can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and don't forget our YouTube channel that has all of our instructional videos there to give you lots of help and to help you be a success in your garden. On Thursday, Sarah's going to be back. She's got our plant of the week, and of course, it's going to be a good one. I'm Suzanne again. We will see you next time.